In the early morning hours of February 4th, 1992, in Ely, Minnesota, a distressed call was made to the sheriff's department from the home of James and Melinda Gardner. When deputies arrived and entered the residence, what they found was utterly horrific. What was found on a set of audio cassette tapes was mind-bending and truly disturbing. The tapes were eventually put in chronological order by the sheriff's department. The following are some of the events transcribed from the tapes. A few minutes ago I caught Daddy hiding in the closet talking to someone. I heard him saying, "Why do I have to? That's not what we agreed upon. I'm not going to do it." I asked him, "Daddy, who are you talking to? Are you okay?" He turned around, looking at me, and I could see he looked very scared. He said, "Nobody. Honey, go back to your room and play. Daddy will be out in a minute." He shut the door and I could hear him whispering, but couldn't understand what he was saying. It sounded like he was getting mad about something. "I want to tell Mother, but he'll get very angry at me if I do." It's 10 p.m. now. A little bit ago, I was sitting in my room doing a puzzle when I had a feeling someone was watching me. I turned around to look, and there was Daddy standing there staring at me. I said, "Hi, Daddy," but he said nothing, just looked at me. "Are you okay, Daddy?" I asked, but again he said nothing. He stood there a few more minutes, then turned and left. As he left my room, I thought I saw something on his back. I only saw it for a second, but it was something dark. I ran and shut the door to my room and jumped into bed. Something strange is happening. It's been days since I recorded anything on here. I think Mother now suspects something is wrong with Daddy. I can see the way she looks at him, and each day he continues acting stranger. He looks scared and is always looking over his shoulder like something is behind him. I want to say something to Mother about what I saw, but I don't know if she believed me. What are you saying into that thing about me? Nothing, Daddy. I promised you'd better not be kid. Now go do something else. Yes, Daddy. Melinda can then be faintly heard whispering to Emma on the tape, "What did your father just say to you?" He asked me if I was saying something about him on the tape. I'm getting scared of him. He's been acting strange lately. I know, baby. I'm not sure what to do for now. Stay out of his way. Okay? Yes, Mother, there's something else. What is it? Tell me it's nothing, I guess. Are you sure, baby? You can tell me it's nothing. Okay, I'm leaving now. I'll see you in a few hours. Bye, Mother. There was a long silence on the tape before Emma spoke again. Something very scary happened last night. I was laying in bed, sleeping, and the hall light came on, so I sat up. I then saw Daddy slowly walk past my room, and again there was something dark on his back. I can't describe it yet, but it looked over at me. I sat up in my bed all night waiting for Daddy to go back to his room, but he never did. I wanted to go look for him, but I was too scared to get out of bed. I heard whispering coming from downstairs. The voice was deep and was not Daddy's, and it sounded like another language. A dark shadow then came down the hallway, but it stopped before entering my room. I called out to Daddy, thinking it might be him, but he never answered. The shadow stayed there at the edge of my bedroom's door all night, never moving until morning. It's been 1 week since I recorded. Something terrifying has been happening, and it's getting worse every day. One day I suddenly started seeing the dark thing that is on Daddy. It's a scary-looking old man, and he's always whispering in Daddy's ear. He looks at me and smiles. He knows I can see him. Daddy has also started getting violent. He started hitting my two older brothers, which is something he's never done before. He was the nicest daddy in the world until this all started. Now I don't know who he is. Mother seems to be trying to ignore it for some reason. She goes into her room and shuts the door and acts like nothing is happening. I called Grandma just now and told her how Daddy has been acting. She asked to speak to Mother. She then took the phone into her room and closed the door. "What are you doing, Emma?" "I told you never to call Grandma again and tell her about our personal life." "Got it." "Melinda, who were you talking to?" "Just my mother, James. What about?" Rustling sounds can be heard on the tape, most likely the sounds of James getting violent with Melinda. "It's nothing. She just called to see how we're doing, lying bitch. If I find out differently, you'll regret it." The sound of a door slamming shut can be heard on the tape, indicating James had left the room or house. Daddy just left after grabbing and hitting Mother very hard. Mother ran to her room crying, "I don't know where my brothers are." Ever since Daddy started acting strange, they stay out every day with their friends until very late. When Daddy gets violent with us, the old man on Daddy's back smirks. I can see he enjoys watching Daddy hurt us. The old man is always looking at me, and it looks like he's trying to say something to me, but I can never hear him speak. The following are recordings from another tape. "Daddy, there's something on you. It's on your back. It's an old man. He's been there for a while. He just never told you. What crazy talk is that, girl?" "Old man on my back. Shut up and get out of my sight." Some loud noises and the sound of running can be heard on the tape. "I'm hiding in my closet now." Daddy went into a rage and started throwing things, so I ran out of the room. He's more scary now than ever. On one of the tapes, Emma was recorded having a conversation with an unrecognizable voice, according to Melinda's parents. The conversation would come in and out, so law enforcement was only able to hear and decipher bits and pieces. The following are what they were able to transcribe. Emma's voice: "Yes, it's being done." Unrecognizable voice: "It must not stop. Continue doing what you agreed upon. If it stops, you and others will suffer." Emma's voice: "Yes, understood." Unrecognizable voice: "It's almost complete. Do." Emma's voice: "I know, old one. We're so close." The following was what was on the final tape law enforcement listened to. Emma's two brothers, Steve and Matt, can be heard on the tape along with Emma and Melinda. According to Melinda's mother: "Kill them, Daddy. Kill them all. James, no." "What are you doing, Dad? Stop, please." Steve: "Grab him. He's going to kill Mom." "Dad, what are you doing? Stop this." The sounds of fighting and screaming went on for 7 minutes. The sinister sounds of a little girl, most likely Emma, can be heard giggling in the background. The last thing said on the tape was Emma saying, "Old one." It is now complete. When law enforcement arrived and entered the home of James and Melinda, they found James looking confused, sitting in a pool of blood in the living room. He'd impaled both of his sons with multiple pieces of rebar and decapitated his wife Melinda with a kitchen knife. Emma was nowhere to be found. When authorities questioned James, he said he had no recollection of what happened. Over the last several months, his story never changed. He eventually lost his mind and was put into the Minnesota State Security Hospital where he resides to this day. A search for Emma was launched, but no trace of her has ever been found.